Part 3. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 21. Li Yuan's words successfully made this melon eat all over the school. Although this matter originally spread widely, except for the School of Finance, other schools did not spread it deeply. But this is the #1 teaching building, where all students in the school will have classes and exams. Can I still have something to eat before the exam? Everyone wanted to deduct 60 points from their upcoming test scores and use the extra points as rewards. Anna Shen's licking dog was about to rush up at the first moment. Li Yuan said slowly and leisurely, "You guys come together. It just so happens that I am about to be expelled from school. I can still earn some pocket money before I leave." The guys who were eager to give it a try were instantly stunned. It's not just a matter of pocket money. Once you hit someone, you won't be able to take part in today's exam. You may get a major demerit or even be expelled. The initial impulse was extinguished by Li Yuan's words. Fighting a guy who's destined to be fired. Isn't this porcelain touching bricks? They gave themselves good excuses. Li Yuan was simply afraid of pain, otherwise he would never have said a word. How could he find such a good thing if he could earn hundreds of thousands from a beating? The two of them stared at each other on the steps of the teaching building. In less than a minute, Anna Shen silently turned around and walked in, which also heralded the end of this conflict. It seems that she doesn't want to argue with Li Yuan, at least that's what those who pursue her think. Li Yuan also walked in with his roommate. The distance between the examination rooms was still very far, so there was no need to worry about meeting each other again on the road. After handing the stationery bag to Gu Dongsheng, Li Yuan said, "When you collect your campus card later, take mine over and I'll squat for a while." Okay. Gu Dongsheng had no doubts. A few minutes later, the invigilator came over and took away everyone's campus cards, then shuffled them and placed them on the exam seats one by one. Gu Dongsheng specifically searched for Li Yuan's position and put the stationery bag on it. However, Li Yuan was not seen coming back until the exam started. After the test papers were handed out, the invigilator took a special look at Li Yuan's personal information and finally took away his papers. Gu Dongsheng knew that he had been deceived by Li Yuan. This bastard. Zhangzhou University Southgate. When Li Yuan came over, he found a guy who was about to be tanned in a Porsche 718 waving at him. "Brother Yuan, Brother Yuan." Li Yuan waved his hand. He really didn't want to call anyone on this hot day. As soon as I opened my mouth, it felt like there was fire in my throat. Lu Hao is definitely a big guy. Sitting in such a small car is a bit like a child sitting in a stroller in front of the supermarket. The problem is that a child can experience it for just $1, but he paid more than 800,000 yuan to buy it at a higher price. When he came over, he couldn't help but said, "Why don't you raise the top?" Lu Hao said awkwardly, "It's not good to see when you raise it." To put it bluntly, Lu Hao is too tall. With a height of 1.93 centimeters and a weight of more than 200 kilograms, it is difficult to fit into the car. Driving depends entirely on the outside view of the car. It is a miracle that we can get here safely. Li Yuan patted the car door and said, "Raise the roof, then squeeze the co-pilot and I'll drive." In this weather, he didn't want the sun to have too much contact with his delicate skin. If you have too much contact, it will become dark. Lu Hao really listened to him, or in other words, the dozen or so children of the same age in the village followed his lead. Who allowed him to be admitted to a key university. Soon, Lu Hao raised the roof of the car manually, and then the two of them squeezed into the car. Even Li Yuan seemed a little crowded. He drove the car and walked towards the distance. Lu Hao asked in confusion, "Brother Yuan, why don't you take me to the school? Let me experience college life, okay?" Li Yuan said, "No, I will take you to a place where you can live well." Huh? 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 Li Yuan immediately said, I know what means, and I will make sure to let you do it later. Li Yuan had no choice. Even if he knew a lot of female classmates, it was impossible for those girls to be with Lu Hao. Emotions are something that requires resonance. Both parties must have at least one common ground before they can be together. Such as talent, appearance, outlook on life, or money. The previous factors are all very mysterious, similar to how there are 10,000 Hamlets among 100 readers. What is talent? What are three views? Isn't it true that people have two mouths, the upper part calls you a ghost, and the lower part calls you a dead ghost? Only good looks and money are the eternal hard currencies. Well, Lu Hao doesn't have either of these two things. Well, in his previous life, he and Lu Hao were evenly matched. Lu Hao was stunned. He watched helplessly as Li Yuan drove to a place called Water Cube. As Li Yuan stopped the car and the two of them walked in, he found that it was a bathing center. Although he had been fooling around with people in the county town for several months, he just wanted to get to know his sister and find a wife. He has never been to a bathing center. Brother Yuan, I'm here to talk about friends. You really can't introduce me there, so I'll try my luck outside. After Lu Hao finished speaking, he was ready to leave. But Li Yuan grabbed his arm and said, this is a place for making friends. Hurry up and get the cards with me. Lu Hao must have more contact with women, otherwise he will feel inferior to any woman he meets and will be taken advantage of unknowingly. The bad things are all those ideas instilled by the elders. His parents have always said that he didn't go to school much, he wasn't smart, he didn't have a proper job, and he couldn't endure hardship. It would be good if he could marry a pig in this life. The older generation may not have real malice, but a habit. Talking about mediocrity as unbearable, trying to make children mature earlier. But I never thought that this would develop an inferiority complex. Whenever I meet a girl, I will feel that I am not good enough for her, and I will naturally become the target of the girl's manipulation. Times have changed, and if men don't change with them, they will be the legendary resentful breed. He took Lu Hao and went to the first floor to take a bath. Because it was only around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, there were not many people around. There were only 2 people in the entire pool, so Li Yuan spoke more directly. When you finish soaking, you can go to the second floor and find a 498 project. Ah. Oh shit, if it weren't for the fact that you don't have much experience, I would take you directly to the 3rd floor. Don't worry, there is nothing on the 2nd floor, just a simple spot. Otherwise, you can come with me go to the 3rd floor. Lu Hao. He has been refreshed by Li Yuan's behavior. This is the only key university in the village. It has only been a year since I came to school and it has already become like this. What exactly is taught in college? Brother Yuan, I still. Then come to the 3rd floor and come with me. Li Yuan said in a stern tone. Lu Hao quickly waved his hand, no, 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 go to the 2nd floor. Remember, when you get to the 2nd floor, don't listen to what the technicians say. My father is a gambler, my brother is in school, and my mother is sick. They all turn a deaf ear. I have already paid the money. If you dare to pay an extra $1, you can go home and I won't introduce you to a girlfriend. The 2 of them just soaked in it. After waiting for a few more minutes, Lu Hao suddenly asked, Brother Yuan, how much does the project on the 3rd floor cost? Oh, 998, but you haven't adapted yet. I'll bring you back next time. It's just that Li Yuan doesn't have enough money in his pocket. At noon, I spent another 200 yuan to treat the dormitory to a meal of King's Farewell chicken. After spending all my money, I only had more than 700 yuan left in my pocket. I just asked Lu Hao to do a 498 project, plus his bath ticket. Lu Hao's project was free of charge. It depends on the situation tomorrow, whether you should spend a few $100s in your securities account. After all, if you miss tomorrow, you won't be able to withdraw money from it until next Monday at the earliest. Another 10 minutes passed. Li Yuan glanced at Lu Hao and said, "Why don't you go to the second floor? You are almost bald." "Hey, I'm going then. Where are you, brother Yuan?" "Me? I'm quite tired from my project. I'll go back in half an hour." "Oh, okay." Immediately afterwards, Li Yuan waited for another 5 or 6 minutes until Lu Hao's order was placed, then he packed up his things and went to the front desk to settle the bill. "While driving, I passed by a pet store and bought a pack of trial cat food for 9.8 yuan. We can't do the 998 project, but we can make do with the 9.8 project." They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 22. After Xu Yanlin's college entrance examination, she could just wait for her scores to come out, so when Li Yuan asked her to see the cat, she agreed without hesitation. She believed in Li Yuan because Li Yuan's eyes were pure. When she arrived at the appointed place, she saw a white Porsche parked next to her, with the windows slowly lowered. Li Yuan gestured to her, "Get in the car quickly." Xu Yanlin was a little frightened. Her family didn't have much money, mainly because she had a rather powerful uncle, who was Anna Shen's father. "My uncle helped a lot so that my parents could buy a house in Zhangzhou. However, she and Anna Shen have been together for a long time, and she can be considered to have some knowledge. Although this car is only an entry-level sports car, the price is not cheap." She opened the car door, hugged Dabai to her chest, and sat down. Li Yuan pulled the seat belt over and handed it to her. Thank you." She felt that Li Yuan could do it for her. He is really a very pure person. He was dressed very simply. Why did he drive a sports car today? It must be because the weather was too hot. Perhaps in his eyes, the sports car is just a means of transportation and has nothing to show off. After she fastened her seat belt, she asked, "Is this your car? It's so beautiful." Li Yuan smiled and said, "No, it's my friend's car. I don't have that much money to buy a car." Xu Yanlin only had one thought at this time. He didn't lie to herself. He could have said the car was his. Just as he thought, he wasn't showing off. "When I was in high school, there were several boys in the class who showed off how rich they were. The guy next to me clearly had all the conditions to show off, but he was still so low-key. When he said he had no money, he probably meant himself. After all, he was just a student and had no way to make money. Unlike some people who refer to their parents' savings as their own. He is handsome, honest, low-key, caring, and knowledgeable. Sooner or later you will own this car, by your own strength. I don't want this car. It's already a second-hand car in my hands. I don't have the habit of driving used cars for a long time. If I do, I will only drive new cars. Used cars are only for emergencies." At this time, Xu Yanlin silently added another adjective to Li Yuan. "Have ambition." The new car is great. Where are we going?" "Of course I want to go to a place that makes you happy." At 4:30, after finishing the exam, Gu Dongsheng and the others took Li Yuan's pencil case and ran towards the dormitory. After hurriedly opening the door, they breathed a sigh of relief. Everything is still there. Then let's give him a call. No, he will definitely come back. The computers are all here. Whatever he abandons, he will not abandon his hidden folders. Alas, I'm afraid this matter will not turn around at all. He has completely offended Anna Shen to death today. Originally, they were quite happy to meet Anna Shen in the teaching building. As a result, Li Yuan came up and told Anna Shen not to have fetal gas. Anna Shen is definitely capable of letting Li Yuan stay in school, it all depends on whether she is willing or not. Gu Dongsheng said guiltily, I didn't think well and shouldn't have done that, otherwise this situation wouldn't have happened. He had been feeling guilty for a long time, but feeling guilty was of no use. In high school, his view of relationships suffered a huge impact. When he entered college, his outlook on life suffered another blow. Ma Chunkai, who had been silent all this time, suddenly said leisurely, as far as I know, Anna Shen likes cats very much. If we give her a cat to apologize to her, maybe she can come forward to intercede with Lao Li. Gu Dongsheng and Chen Qi's eyes suddenly lit up. Ma Chunkai continued, I know that Anna Shen often goes to a cat cafe, and there is a pet shop next door to that cat cafe. How come you know everything? Oh, I have privately read the guide for meeting Anna Shen written by others. Gu Dongsheng has already made up his mind, and at this time, he can't control so much. Let's go buy a cat? I won't have enough money then, so you can lend me some, and I'll pay you back next month. After saying that, the three of them put down what they were holding and walked outside. No one knows when the school will announce the punishment for Li Yuan. But as long as no announcement was made, Anna Shen had time to help. 20 minutes later, the three of them took a taxi and arrived near Songyuan Lake. The brand of Juya Cat Cafe was very conspicuous, and the pet shop next to it had no sense of existence. After getting out of the car, the three of them went straight to the pet shop. On the way, Chen Qi said, if Anna Shen doesn't accept it by then, we will give the cat to Lao Li. He must be very sad now. Raising a cat may make him feel better. However, there was no response from around him. What's wrong? Don't you agree with what I said? Gu Dongsheng nodded, yeah, I don't agree. What do you mean? What you said has no conscience. Lao Li is strong on the surface, but he is feeling very uncomfortable in private. He may be secretly wiping his tears somewhere right now. He probably didn't wipe away his tears. He was probably with a girl and was very happy. Ma Chunkai said something. Chen Qi suddenly became unhappy, is there something wrong with your brain? Where can he find a girl in his current situation? After Chen Qi finished speaking, he saw Ma Chunkai pointing in a direction, either I'm hallucinating, or... In adulthood, I looked in the direction Ma Chunkai pointed. In front of the French window of Juya Cat Cafe, a man and a woman were sitting on the booth, each holding a cat in their arms. Li Yuan would rub the cat in the girl's arms from time to time, making the girl giggle. Chen Qi's jaw almost dropped to the ground. The three of them had stopped on the side of the road without taking a step. I don't know who said it, I finally know why Lao Li doesn't pursue Tong Sui. I can also see that although Tong Sui is very beautiful, compared with this girl, she always feels inferior in many aspects. Don't talk about Tong Sui, even Anna Shen, I don't feel as good as this girl. As soon as these words came out, the other two people all focused their attention on the speaker. It was Gu Dongsheng who said this. What are you looking at me doing? Isn't this girl beautiful? Her appearance is not much worse than Anna Shen, right? Then you said that even Anna Shen can't compare, is it a bit exaggerated? Gu Dongsheng said unconvinced, when it comes to dating, you can only look at your body and appearance. It mainly depends on the compatibility of both parties and who you can be happy with. You are not a top boss, you all have to live a life. Anna Shen, can someone who lives a good life? I don't know how many times this girl is better than Anna Shen. Ma Chunkai nodded inexplicably and said, it is true that good girls should be cherished, but bad girls should not be wasted. Bad. Vulgar. Then shall we buy a cat? Call Lao Li and ask. Some people took out their mobile phones, and some were staring at the glass windows. Staring at the floor-to-ceiling glass window, I saw Li Yuan pick up the phone and connected it, as if he was talking about something. However, no one responded from his side. How did you do it? What did Lao Li say? Someone asked impatiently. The phone didn't go through. Um. Chen Qi showed his mobile phone screen and turned on the external speaker. Sorry, the number you dialed is currently on a call. Who is he talking to on the phone? When Xu Yanlin saw Li Yuan hang up the phone, she asked, did your friend call you over? Let's go too. Don't worry, let him wait for a while. But, I just heard him say that he has finished talking about his project, and asked you if you have finished talking about it. I didn't mean to hear it, you were a little close to me just now. What's the matter? He's a boss. He just finished discussing the project with his software hardening engineer. It's normal. Oh, I've never heard of this engineer. He seems to be very powerful. Of course, ordinary people can't do it, including you. Any boss who has such an engineer under his command can already dominate the company and produce high-quality results for the company. As long as there are two, competing with each other, the performance it will progress by leaps and bounds. Unfortunately, I have no idea of starting a business, but I lack such an engineer. Don't underestimate me, I can do it too. Ang, I will study when I go to college. If you start a business then, I will be your engineer. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 23. Xu Yanlin's attitude was inexplicably firm. Li Yuan said, university is a place to enjoy life and learn knowledge. You don't have to worry so much about work. That kind of engineering skills is not what universities should learn. Xu Yanlin whispered, but there are so few engineers like that, so the salary must be high, right? Li Yuan said in surprise, why do you have such an idea? Ang, I also want to make money. The little rich woman also needs to make money by herself. The price of houses near Zhangzhou University is not cheap, only 20,000 to 30,000 per square meter. Judging from Xu Yanlin's daily dress and some of her own habits, she doesn't look like a girl from an ordinary family. Besides, how poor can Anna Shen's cousin's family be? There is no way I would want to work right after graduating from high school. Xu Yanlin was a little embarrassed, I'm not a rich woman. My cousin's family is very rich, but my family is very ordinary. The house is still financed with a loan. If my cousin hadn't come here to study, my family wouldn't have pooled the money to buy a house. Your family bought a house just for your cousin to study. This is simply off the mark. Anna Shen's family is rich, and if she wants a house, she can just buy it herself. Can she take advantage of her poor relatives? Xu Yanlin quickly waved her hands. No, it was my cousin who came here to study that gave our family the opportunity to buy a house. It was my uncle who provided the down payment, and my parents were repaying the loan. In fact, our family is quite poor. My parents have less than 20,000 yuan a month, and their mortgage loan is 14,000 yuan. Anyway, I feel like they are working very hard. If you want to start a business in the future, senior, be sure to ask me to be your engineer. I will definitely learn from it. Li Yuan understood that in fact, even if Anna Shen's father found an excuse to give some money to relatives, he could also provide his daughter with a reliable place to live. This is definitely better than giving money directly. Giving money is a bottomless pit. When others get the money, they will only think that this is what you, a rich man, should give. From now on, just lie down. Anyway, I have a rich relative who will never starve to death. Now I will give you a down payment of millions, and I will work hard to earn money to repay the loan. Even if I give you the money, my relatives will not be turned into salted fish. Moreover, once people are free, they will think randomly and make trouble everywhere, which may cause some trouble for Anna Shen's family. Kill 2 and 3 with one stone. Okay, Let's wait until you are in your third and fourth years of college. I don't have the idea of starting a business yet. Li Yuan did not refuse, leaving this girl in his thoughts so that she could go to school. Otherwise, you will start thinking about making money during your freshman year and will simply waste the good life in college. That was the last stop of purity in life. By the way, how are your usual mock test scores? Well, it's okay. I've always been at the top of the school. I just don't know the results of the college entrance examination. In fact, Xu Yanlin can probably estimate her score in the college entrance examination. Then it's definitely no problem. The higher the degree, the higher the salary will be. Real. Xu Yanlin's eyes shone. You are really obsessed with money. Ang, he. Keep calling, why don't you call? The three idiots outside were already feeling itchy. Someone said, isn't it bad to ruin this atmosphere? Someone else said, no matter what, seeing my son happy makes me, a father, happy. Then he was criticized by someone, you don't even urinate and take care of yourself. With your virtues, how can you give birth to such a handsome son? Haha, let's find a stunning beauty to balance out our looks. Is it difficult to give birth to such a handsome son? Hey, you dare to say that you want to have a son? It's a serious crime of treason. Haven't you seen that those internet celebrity stars are like losing their wives after giving birth to a son? One plot after giving birth to a daughter can take 3 episodes. What's going on here? Should we fight or not? It seems, there's no need to fight, they're out. The heads of the 3 people moved side by side with Li Yuan's figure, as if their perspectives were locked in the game. Until Li Yuan took Xu Yanlin into the Porsche, the chin that the 3 of them had just picked up fell to the ground again. What did I see? Since when did Lao Li have a sports car? Didn't you say that my family is an ordinary worker? Do you call this an ordinary worker? What I'm talking about is if, Lao Li is a second-generation person who came here to experience life, right? He is the kind of person with a very strict upbringing. He is not allowed to show off in the market, but now he knows that he will be expelled except, I just started to try my hand at it. Which novel did you read it from? Rebirth, I am a rich second generation. The 3 of them listened to the roar of the Porsche's exhaust and couldn't relax for a long time. The visual impact on the 3 of them is a bit big. Gu Dongsheng murmured to himself, no wonder he doesn't want to be with a rich woman, they don't like her at all. To be honest, I feel like Anna Shen is a little ignorant now. How to say? Think about it, there must be a reason why Lao Li pretends to be so low-key on weekdays. Whose family would let their children do that if they have a lot of money? It must be a very well-established family that has already formed a mature set of methods for raising children. Process, otherwise Lao Li can act the same as the real thing. This time, no one objected. Because there is absolutely no way to explain this. Li Yuan knew he was going to be fired, so he suddenly had money. Suddenly a girl comes to you. Maybe that girl is his fiancée whom he has already settled on. After all, how could a child from a wealthy family choose Tong Sui-Fi's kind of marriage? One look at the temperament of this porcelain doll girl, and it seems that she is not worthy of ordinary people. She may be from a big family. Then shall we buy a cat? Let's not talk about whether it works or not. Lao Li doesn't want to drop out of school. Who else can stop him? Looking at him now, he might be grateful for this. After all, after dropping out, his level has obviously improved by hundreds of orders of magnitude. That said, it's really possible. Who doesn't know that Lao Li is the kind of good-natured person? Yesterday, he suddenly went to the courtyard to curse everyone, from students to teachers to college leaders. If he hadn't done it on purpose, I would have dared to marry Zhang Yuling. You really only want good things. Li Yuan first drove Xu Yanlin back in his car, and then turned around and went to the entrance of the water cube to pick up Lu Hao. When Lu Hao saw Li Yuan, he said with a smile, "Brother Yuan, please arrange a 998 package for me next time." Li Yuan raised his eyebrows. Is this guy on the road so quickly? He seems to be a very talented person, but he has been short of an entry-level master for so many years. Want to? Lu Hao nodded like crazy. I want it, I want it. Brother Yuan, don't worry, I will definitely repay you in the future. Don't say what to repay, don't tell me in the future. Absolutely, definitely. I don't ask too much, just a little bit better than your 998. Do you know what my 998 one looks like? I know, you just drove by here and I saw it right away, he. Li Yuan. Xu Yanlin's kind? 998? He is just like Nuwa. He doesn't have decades of skills, and he can't do the same as Xu Yanlin. He took a deep breath and said seriously, Mouse, in fact, this is a road of no return. There will be many places to spend money in the future. Let's experience 498 a few times first. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 24. He invited Lu Hao to have a chicken pot in front of the school, and then opened a 60 yuan hotel for him at the south gate, and everything was settled. Don't run around at night. I'll go to the cafeteria to bring you food tomorrow. By the way, remember to put some gas in the car. He only had 30 yuan left in his pocket, and he wouldn't be able to get it tomorrow. He would have to get some at least the day after tomorrow to spend it. When he returned to the dormitory, he would have to borrow some from the three guys. Brother Yuan, won't you sleep with me? Check our dormitory. After saying that, Li Yuan turned around and ran away. We are all young, so we should avoid suspicion when we should. After all, this is an era when a father has to hang himself as soon as a daughter is born. In the future, if word spreads that he slept with a man, there might be a bunch of women clamoring for him to come out. Female dormitory of the School of Finance. Sun Hongmei went out to buy a meal for Tong Suifei. Because Tong Suifei was in a bad mood today, her account lost a lot of followers. After all, it is a new account, and there is not much content in it. The update has been delayed for so long, and fans have no desire to continue waiting. The most indispensable thing on the internet is beautiful women. The goddesses who usually only dare to look up to them have to call them family, brother, or even husband on the internet. Tong Suifei now hates Li Yuan deeply. Her account has been rising very strongly. The day before yesterday, it was already the most popular in finance. However, after 2 days of no update, the popularity dropped to just over 100. This is the charm of self-media. It can become famous overnight, or it can fall from the altar overnight. So last night, after knowing that Li Yuan was going to be expelled, she stepped on him decisively and let out a sigh of relief. Hongmei, has the school issued an announcement to expel Li Yuan? She took the noodles from Sun Hongmei's hand and asked at the same time. After Sun Hongmei sat down, she said, No, but I heard that Li Yuan didn't go to the exam today. It seems that he has broken the pot. Hearing this, Tong Suifei felt much more comfortable. Sun Hongmei urged, Aren't you with his roommate? Ask his roommate to see if he has moved out of the dormitory. She couldn't wait to know the news that Li Yuan had left. The reason is simple. Li Yuan scolded her again and again. In her heart, no matter what she does, she is not worthy of being scolded by others. What does Li Yuan have? Handsome. Putting that aside, is there anything else? He is much more knowledgeable than him, and there are no fewer people who can write financial articles than him. He was just handsome enough to be pleasing to the eye, but he was still far from the standard of a boyfriend in her heart. The most important thing is, no money. What a man is a man without money? Sun Hongmei silently took out her mobile phone and sent a message to Ma Chunkai. She also hoped to stay with Tong Sui and enjoy more eyes, otherwise few boys in her life would look at her seriously. After all, those boys in the school would not even think about driving a tank no matter how bad they were. Tong Sui, who had eaten 2 mouthfuls of rice, had no appetite anymore, so she simply came over and watched the two chatting. Sun Hongmei got straight to the point and asked Li Yuan if he had moved out. After about 2 or 3 minutes, Ma Chunkai replied, "No, he will be back later." Tong Sui said, "Ask him, how come Li Yuan still has the nerve to stay in the dormitory when he knows he will be expelled?" Sun Hongmei sent it? Then, Ma Chunkai became angry. "Hongmei, this matter has nothing to do with you, does it? Li Yuan has paid the accommodation fee. He can live here as long as he wants. Before the school evicts people, it is neither illegal nor illegal for him to live here." Tong Sui took Sun Hongmei's cell phone and said, "You know you are going to be expelled and you want to get the last month's accommodation fee. You are stingy. Why do you say it so nicely? Anyway, this is Sun Hongmei's number, and no one else knows she said it." The more she thought about Li Yuan, the angrier she became, and her teeth itched with hatred. He took the initiative to give her a chance, but in the end, he was still ignorant and acted as if she was despicable. Then, the phone suddenly vibrated violently. In the chat box, one photo directly floods the screen. After the photos were sent, Ma Chunkai said, "Look at these photos for yourself, see what kind of car Li Yuan drives and who is around him. Will Li Yuan be greedy for the accommodation fee? Do you think everyone is like Tong Sui, dead in the eyes of money? If you have money, you are your father? Li Yuan's identity is much more powerful than you think. Do you think he is angry because he looks down on Anna Shen? Posturing. She already has a fiancé, she is no worse than Anna Shen, and her family's situation may be many times better than Anna Shen." Tong Sui didn't have time to read the rest of the story. She opened the first picture and saw a scene of Li Yuan masturbating with a very cute girl. The girl smiled very sweetly. The second picture shows Li Yuan taking the girl to the car. She knows that car. Although it is an entry-level sports car, it is also the goal she pursues in her life. Chapter 3 picture, Li Yuan walked in gracefully, and the girl also opened the passenger door and prepared to sit down. The girl has a good figure. Although her height is a little behind her, she should be about 165, which is above the average. I have never had that kind of peaceful temperament in my whole life. At first glance, she looks like a girl from a well-off family. The fourth photo is of the car driving away. The fifth picture is of the car on the road. Later, she saw the content of Ma Chunkai's post. At that moment, her body was a little stiff. Li Yuan is actually a rich second generation? This is impossible. She immediately sent a message, "I don't know where I rented the car from, and I deliberately lied to you." Ma Chunkai quickly replied, "It's okay to rent a car, but it's a new car, this year's new model. Which car rental company is willing to rent out the latest model? Also, if you can rent a car, can you also rent that girl? How much can it cost to rent? 10,000? 30,000? 50,000? Even if she is not his girlfriend, she is at least someone who has a good relationship with him, or even someone who is chasing him. No matter what kind of thing, Tong Sui is not the one who can touch porcelain." Yes. Looking at Li Yuan's attitude, even Anna Shen probably won't be able to do it. Let me tell you this, Li Yuan's family is either a political or business tycoon, and they are very well behaved. It means that he has been rich for at least several generations, otherwise he would not be so low-key in school. I just learned that he was start enjoying life as soon as you are fired. You'd better persuade Tong Sui that those things in the past were just a show performed by Li Yuan to suit his status. Anyway, Tong Sui didn't suffer any loss. Tell her not to provoke Li Yuan again in the future. Li Yuan is someone she can't afford to offend. Tong Sui was stunned. She didn't believe her eyes at all. How could Li Yuan be a hidden rich second generation? Or the kind that even Anna Shen doesn't like? So, what did I miss? Sun Hongmei on the side was also watching the whole process, feeling complicated in her heart. She had always thought that Tong Sui was a very powerful person and that any boy could be easily manipulated by her. But now, she actually missed such a big treasure. She noticed that Tong Sui's expression suddenly became distorted. She took out her mobile phone and desperately looked through the blacklist. Finally, Li Yuan's number was found in the blacklist. Then, she used Sun Hongmei's mobile phone to open the information box, entered Li Yuan's mobile phone number, and started editing the information. This message was very long and took 5 minutes to edit. Sun Hongmei watched from the side, looking at the aloof Tong Sui, and started to use words that only a licking dog would use. But she always felt that those words were not enough. Turning around, he looked at Sun Hongmei nervously. Hongmei, tell me, how can I get Li Yuan to come back to me? They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 25. After Xu Yanlin returned home, she saw Anna Shen sitting on the sofa. Anna Shen took one look at the cat in her arms and knew what her cousin was going to do. That bastard Li Yuan is still pestering him. Linlin, come here and let me tell you something. She decided to expose Li Yuan's ugly face, otherwise this little cousin would be taken to the pit by Li Yuan. Moreover, as long as Li Yuan gets close to Xu Yanlin, he will inevitably get in touch with herself in the future. She doesn't want to waste her precious time on an ordinary person. Not to mention that he is an ordinary person who deliberately commits cross-section. Oh, then I'll put Dabai in the cat litter box. Anna Shen. Soon, Xu Yanlin was like a child who had done something wrong, sitting next to Anna Shen, lowering her head and playing with her fingers, looking embarrassed. Are you going to meet Li Yuan again? Anna Shen asked first. I told you not to get in contact with those people with bad intentions. You are still young and can be easily deceived, but you just don't listen. He knows that I have an exam today, and he even gave up his own exam and came to call you specifically. Don't you still know what his intentions are? But, he just wants to give the cat some cat food. Xu Yanlin really didn't feel any malice from Li Yuan. He never showed off anything of his own, and only talked about daily life, some names in the dormitory, and some experiences in raising cats. Although she has not yet digested those insights, Li Yuan's words must have been accumulated over many years of experience in raising cats. Anna Shen said angrily, is he sending cat food? Does the family seem to be short of some cat food? I didn't expose him before, because I saved him some face. In fact, Dabai is a stray cat in our school. I have been using this as an excuse to lie to you. Anna Shen has been at Zhangzhou University for 3 years and knows that there are many stray cats in the school. But she didn't like cats very much and didn't pay attention to those details. But she learned Li Yuan's rhetoric from Xu Yanlin, and no normal person would believe that this cat belonged to Li Yuan. At first, she didn't want to get involved in this matter, she just wanted to test Li Yuan's reality. As long as it has no impact on her, Li Yuan is not a bad person, and it is no big deal to have contact with Xu Yanlin. As a result, things were getting worse and worse. If she hadn't wanted to maintain her image of a kind-hearted person, she would have fought with Li Yuan based on what Li Yuan said against her. Xu Yanlin said stubbornly, but I don't feel like he is someone who lied to me. The further back you go, the quieter the sound becomes. Anna Shen felt that Xu Yanlin had been brainwashed by Li Yuan. This cousin was good at everything but imagined others too well. Who in this world is not interested in fame and fortune? At this point, I will tell you the truth. Li Yuan's purpose in approaching you is for me. Ah, Xu Yanlin opened her mouth wide with surprise on her face. Anna Shen continued, what Li Yuan is best at in school is chasing girls. At first he went to chase Tong Sui, a sophomore in our college, but Tong Sui didn't take a fancy to him, so he was rejected. Then he wanted to chase her. I don't even like Tong Sui, how could I? You should understand now, right? Huh? Huh? I don't quite understand. Anna Shen said angrily, he knew he couldn't catch up with me, so he deliberately found a breakthrough from you. After I picked you up from the examination room that day, I dropped you off at school because I was going to the party. That by that time, he had already set his sights on you, that cat was the stray cat in the school, and he was lying to you from the beginning to the end. Impossible. Xu Yanlin became inexplicably determined. Why? Because no cat lover would make fun of his own cat. Anna Shen. She felt that Xu Yanlin was hopeless. I immediately opened my WeChat account, found the screenshot of the post the day before yesterday, and placed it in front of Xu Yanlin. Look, this is Li Yuan's true purpose. He has been spreading rumors about me in the school, and now he is about to be expelled from the school. What do you think such a person can tell the truth? Warmly welcome my adoptive father back to the dormitory for inspection. Father, please be careful of the door frame. Father, thank you for your hard work. We, the adopted sons, did not do our job properly. I will prepare a chair to carry you up next time. How can I let you go upstairs in person? Father, take a look, do you have any ideas or suggestions for our dormitory? Father, I would like to ask you to make arrangements for the next phase of the dormitory's guidance. As soon as Li Yuan returned to the dormitory, the three guys who were playing games suddenly jumped over and surrounded him. Then he said a bunch of words that he didn't understand. What kind of foster father, what kind of guidance work, does not look like a scholar. You haven't eaten. As soon as Li Yuan said it, the three of them nodded fiercely. Then Li Yuan walked straight to his seat and said, why don't you go quickly? I didn't come back until after dinner. Chen Qi licked his face and leaned over, saying, Dad Yuan, let's go together and we'll treat you to some. Li Yuan looked at Chen Qi suspiciously. This face was obviously normal, but why did it always feel a little fake? It's free of charge if you treat me to dinner. If you have extra money, borrow some and I'll pay you back in 2 weeks. He knew the situation of the three guys in the dormitory. Gu Dongshen was the poorest and had to use leverage to pay for his living expenses. Ma Chenkai is the stingiest person. It is unrealistic to expect him to give out a few hundred yuan. As for Chen Qi, maybe he can lend himself 300 to 500 yuan. However, as soon as he said these words, Gu Dongshen pulled away from Chen Qi, squeezed in front of him, and said eagerly, I have money, I can borrow it, how much does it cost, Father Yuan? You want $3 or $5, huh? Didn't you say the day before yesterday that you would spend all your living expenses? Even if Ma Chenkai was willing to borrow money, he was not so surprised. Gu Dongshen grinned and said, if someone else borrows money, can Dad Yuan still borrow money? Wait for me for 2 minutes, and I will ask Dad Ma to borrow some. After saying that, he took out his mobile phone and started an operation. Before he finished, Chen Qi squeezed over again and said, Dad Yuan, lend me the money. I have cash. The payment is fast and the time is short. It's 832 yuan and 50 cents. It's all been transferred to your WeChat account. Go, please collect it first. If it's not enough, I'll ask Father Ma to borrow some. Even Ma Chenkai whispered, Dad Yuan, please accept the transfer I gave you. It's only 3,000 yuan. Don't be in a hurry to pay it back. You can use it as you like. Li Yuan took out his mobile phone and took a look. There were really 2 transfers. Chen Qi looked like he had left nothing behind, as if he had transferred all his living expenses to him. Ma Chenkai should have some left, but is the son of a bitch actually so rich? Before he could react, Gu Dongshen's 1,000 yuan was transferred over. Do you need to lend money to yourself even if you take an online loan? What the hell is this relationship? The three faces looked at him expectantly, as if waiting for his arrival. Li Yuan said, I will collect Lao Ma's money first, I will use it for 2 weeks, and then I will pay you back with interest. Then he said to the other two guys, forget it about you two. It can't be calculated. This is also our intention. Father Yuan must accept it? Gu Dongsheng said anxiously. Yes, yes. Chen Qi agreed. You guys can't handle it? I just need to accept your wishes. Li Yuan took 3,000 yuan from Ma Chenkai and returned the money from the other two people. Chen Qi wanted to say something else, but Gu Dongsheng pulled him away and said to Li Yuan, if Dad Yuan wants anything, we will go out and bring it to you. No, no, you go and eat quickly. These three guys were a little weird. He didn't watch the three of them leave with his own eyes, and always wondered if they were going to kill him. Otherwise, how could it have changed so much? Okay, let's go first. If Dad Yuan wants anything, just send us a message at any time. After Gu Dongsheng finished speaking, he took the other two people and left. A few minutes later, while walking on the road, Chen Qi was still a little disappointed. Lao Gu, why are you holding me back? I haven't lent you the money. Gu Dongsheng said, if I don't hold you, you will be exposed. What is Lao Li's identity? Will he ask us to borrow money? He is testing us this time. Test? What test? Think about it, he is about to be fired. Under normal circumstances, would you consider the possibility of the other party running away if you borrow money? If he asks someone to borrow money at this time, most people will not lend him money. He didn't care whether he could borrow money or not. We took the initiative to borrow money and we had an attitude. Although we didn't have much money, we had an attitude. You guy used too much force and almost ruined the show. Damn it, you're still thinking too deeply. I'm still wondering why Lao Li wants to borrow money. But Lao Li is really powerful. Rich boys are different. This move is brilliant. It can directly eliminate those superficial brothers. It's as if you are not superficial brothers. Are you kidding? Lao Li asked me to borrow money. Can I not borrow it? But it's only 300 at most. If it exceeds 300, our friendship will be destroyed. Lao Ma, what about you? If you didn't know about this, how much money could you borrow? I only have 3,000, it's gone. Li Yuan turned on the computer and prepared to play 2 games. The video has not been posted. We will wait until tomorrow. Tomorrow he will withdraw from Baiqiao Road Industry. Even if he posted the video, it will not affect him. As soon as I opened the game, my phone received an inexplicable text message. I picked it up and saw an unknown number. But the content is exciting. Li Yuan, I'm Tong Sui. Can you invite me to Wanjiao Tower for dinner tomorrow at noon? We won't be back in the evening. Li Yuan smiled when he saw the news. In Wanjiao Tower, where the per capita population is more than 400, is Tong Sui going to dig herself in before she dies? Isn't it because I haven't checked into a high-end restaurant for a long time, and I haven't posted any photos in my circle of friends, so I'm trying to trick myself into paying the bill? Why don't you come back at night? Who didn't know your virtue in the previous life? If you hold your hand, you will say that your hands are sweaty and uncomfortable. If you hug me, you will say that you are shy and embarrassed. He replied, okay, but Wanjiao Tower doesn't match your status. Just go to Chinji Seafood Restaurant and bring the people in your dormitory with you. You can order whatever you want there. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 26. Inside the girls' dormitory. Tong Sui was a little anxious while holding her cell phone. Because Li Yuan didn't reply, he said he was going to Chinji Seafood Restaurant. It was a place with a per capita salary of $1,500, and you were told that you could take your roommates there and have a casual time. Hungmei, what does he mean? Sun Hungmei said, Shuefei, this is already obvious. He is giving you a chance. By calling us to our dormitory, he will most likely confess to you on the spot and ask us all to be witnesses. It can also be seen from what he said. Come out, what Ma Chunkai said must be true. If Li Yuan was not the second generation rich, how could he dare to invite so many people? You are about to marry into a wealthy family. After Tong Sui heard this, she did not stop moving her hands and continued to send messages to Li Yuan. I didn't expect you to be so kind to me, so let's add WeChat back. There is also a mobile phone number. After waiting for half an hour, Li Yuan responded. In the past half hour, she almost transformed from a rich young lady to a patient with frequent urination. The reply was a simple sentence. Just use this number to contact me, I'm playing games. Since Tong Sui heard about Li Yuan an hour ago, her brain has been unable to think normally, so she can only continue to let Sun Hungmei help her analyze it. Sun Hungmei thought for a while and said, this is also normal. It is impossible for him to have no temper. And he said that he is playing games. It is really not easy to be distracted when playing games. The first half of the sentence is a reference to the previous sentence. If you're just a little bit dissatisfied with the misunderstanding, wouldn't you immediately find a way out for yourself? He definitely still can't let go of you. Then help me pick out some clothes and see what I can wear tomorrow. Li Yuan stayed up very late, because the three guys in the dormitory didn't mention anything about what happened before when they came back, and they even brought cold dishes and beer. He always felt that the three guys had some conspiracy, so he didn't dare to drink too much. As a result, the three of them ended up getting drunk and fell asleep in bed. This battle didn't look like it was going against him, so Li Yuan returned to the upper bunk to rest. When I woke up, I found that the entire dormitory was clean. It's so clean like never before, people can be seen on the floor. Next to the trash can, things were thrown everywhere, and the wall was darkened. At this time, the scene seemed to have changed. The desk is neatly arranged, and the laptop is shiny. Especially the screen of the laptop is prone to leaving spots of unknown liquid, which is like restoring factory settings. The three guys in the dormitory were still busy cleaning the bathroom. You three are possessed. Gu Dongshen was wearing gloves to clean the dirt on the toilet. His facial features were obviously distorted. When he turned to look at Li Yuan, he immediately turned into a smile. Dad Yuan, aren't I worried that you are leaving? I just want to clean things up for you. In this way, no matter where you are in the future, you will also be thinking about whether our dormitory is right. Don't worry, I won't forget you guys. Dad Yuan, you are wrong. You should never forget our three little sons. I woke up suddenly and went to sleep for a while. He has never encountered such a shameful request. But the market was about to open soon, and I had to make a video, so I had to get up quickly and get my laptop. When the market opened at 9:30, Baiqiao Road Industry had a successful second consecutive trading session, so he decisively withdrew all his funds. Yesterday, the profit on Baiqiao Road was 11 points, and today it was 10 points. On this ticket, I have made nearly 23 points. The total funds have also increased from 69,000 yesterday morning to 84,000 today. Now that he had borrowed the money, he was not going to take it out. After buying Xinjiang electric power, he went out directly with his computer. Don't forget to feed Lu Hao. Dad Yuan, walk slowly. Make a call before you come back, and we'll go downstairs to greet you. Li Yuan just walked to the door and was almost knocked down by the doorframe. Those who knew it thought it was a university dormitory, and those who didn't know it thought they were living in a mental hospital. These three guys are really sick, and they are quite sick. Did we forget to prepare breakfast for Lao Li? Also, should we carry him out? No matter where we go, there will definitely be a long distance. What should we do if he gets tired? Remember everything and improve it next time. After he went downstairs, he went to the canteen. Knowing that Lu Hao had a big appetite, he bought a meal for 4 people. After delivering breakfast, Li Yuan simply stayed here and finished the video. Lu Hao was playing games on the side and could hear the voices of girls inside. Li Yuan's video was almost done, so he uploaded yesterday's video and stated that he would only update the video the next day. After that, he didn't bother to watch it. He gained 4 fans in the past 2 days, which was a pitiful few. Seeing Lu Hao playing games, he came over. This girl has a nice voice. Why don't you want her to use WeChat? Lu Hao was stunned when he heard this. Brother Yuan, why do you need WeChat? People are ignoring me. Li Yuan sighed, took Lu Hao's phone and started playing. You watch from the side, I will only teach you this time. He doesn't play much of the game king. After all, he pursues the philosophy that PC is the real game, and stickers don't count. Therefore, the operation is unfamiliar and I don't know how the skills are. After dying several times in a row, the girl was obviously a little angry. Then, he directly turned on the voice and asked, do you know how to play games as a mage? A mid-lane mage doesn't have support. It's 4 to 5. Are you just here to make up the numbers? Also, why are you standing so far back during a group fight? We are all dead, and you haven't used a single skill yet. What's the use of you? Rice dog. Lu Hao on the side looked at Li Yuan's 1-7 record, and went to spray a 3-01, and his head got big. Has brother Yuan always been so brave? The girl obviously couldn't control her temper and retorted directly, you are a loser who only knows how to give away. If it weren't for you, we would have won. Li Yuan said without hesitation, who are you calling a waste? What about you? You're a piece of trash from 1-7. Bah! Didn't you see that I was targeted? If it were you, I might have died at 1-10. What's the point of playing a mage with long hands? If you weren't useless, we would have won. You still want to be shameless? I'll beat you up, right? Haha, I'm telling the truth. Not convinced? Not convinced by Solo. Come on, it's all ordered, I have to teach you a lesson for this foul-mouthed guy. Come on, the one who doesn't order is a dog. A man will never find a girlfriend, and a woman will never find a hard one. Li Yuan initiated the avatar. Swipe, 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 5 votes passed collectively. Afterwards, Li Yuan directly added the girl as a friend and opened a room. You play Xiaoqiao, and I play Chen Yaojin. If you lose, I'll kowtow 3 times. The girl is very angry. Okay, it's up to you. Li Yuan snorted and agreed. Then, the game started. Li Yuan glanced at Lu Hao and said, who is Xiaoqiao? Lu Hao. The one with the fan. Oh, fan mother. Li Yuan quickly determined it. Just after entering the game, the girl said on the public screen, trash, I will give you a summoner skill. Are you willing to give up? I also used flash. Then, Li Yuan was killed alone at the 2nd level. Trash, are you convinced? Li Yuan immediately said, no hand grip. I'm not good at it, give it another try. Kowtow first and shout 3 times that you are wrong. Oh. Li Yuan put the phone in front of Lu Hao. Speak quickly. Lu Hao said bravely. Because it was converted into text, the girl didn't know who said it. Soon, the second game started. Li Yuan still used the summoner skills when he was online. There is no doubt about the result, the second level was single killed. Trash, you can't even use flash. Do you want to accept it now? Not convinced. Another round. Haha, I don't have time to play with you. Anyway, you are just a waste. Haha, you don't even have the courage to play another round. Who is afraid of you? Are you afraid that I will beat you in the next round? I won't waste my time with rubbish. Why don't you do it for 20 yuan a game? If you beat me in another game, I will transfer it to you immediately. Come. There is no doubt that Li Yuan lost again. After coming out, the girl directly pulled Li Yuan into the small room. Waste. Do you accept it or not? This time it's direct voice connection. I'm not convinced. I'm not in a good state today. Send your WeChat message and I'll transfer you 20 yuan. I'll continue my solo tomorrow. It's still 20 yuan around. I will definitely kill you without leaving a single scratch tomorrow. Who cares about your $20? You don't dare, right? Are you afraid that I'll torture you when I'm better tomorrow? You. If you don't dare, just tell me earlier. If you tell me earlier, I won't waste my time. There's no point in winning against someone like you. You, okay, I will come find you tomorrow when I have some free time. Don't be a coward then. Whoever shrinks is the grandson. Soon, the girl sent a WeChat message, and Li Yuan quickly wrote it down and returned the phone to Lu Hao. Hey, WeChat is not here anymore. Talk to her slowly, don't transfer money to her, okay? Ah. Is this still possible? Li Yuan had already withdrawn, feeling like he was hiding his fame. At this time, his cell phone rang. I picked it up and saw that it was Tong Swafi's number from yesterday. After being connected, Tong Swafi immediately asked, "We have arrived at Chinji Seafood Restaurant, when will you come?" "Oh, I'm still on the way, you order first, order more." "Alright." Half an hour has passed. Tong Swafi called again. "Li Yuan, when will you arrive? We have already started serving food here." "Huh? Sorry, I have something to do and I can't go there at the moment." "You can eat by yourself." "What? You?" Tong Swafi was anxious. "There's something really wrong. But, then just pay the bill and treat it as your invitation. I'll go and play with you when you're done." "What? I didn't hear clearly." Did you do it on purpose?" Tong Swafi's tone obviously changed. "What's intentional?" Oh, you can't even afford a meal, right? Princess Fifi. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 27. Shuefei, what's wrong? When will Li Yuan come? Sun Hongmei saw that Tong Swafi's face was not very good, so she asked tentatively. Tong Swafi looked at the people in the dormitory and the bill worth tens of thousands of dollars, her whole body felt a little stiff. They really thought that Li Yuan would come over to pay the bill no matter what happened. After all, Tong Swafi had already given such a big hint. So when ordering, she is quite self-conscious, and taking photos of many expensive dishes is more classy. Without moving a single chopstick, the four of them had already taken hundreds of photos. She has never eaten a meal worth more than 10,000 yuan in her life. And she couldn't afford so much money. Even if she used all the legal online loans around her, as a student, she couldn't borrow that much. But she knew that she must not lose face. So, with a trembling voice, he pretended to be calm and said, Li Yuan is not here because of something, let's eat first. After saying that, she moved her chopsticks directly, but her hands were obviously still shaking. After taking a bite, she didn't want to eat anymore, so she took her mobile phone and started to contact her WeChat friends. This meal took more than 3 hours to eat. Because the end time depends on when Tong Sui borrows money from those licking dogs. Li Yuan took Lu Hao to have a meal at Suiwen restaurant at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The two of them spent a total of $68 on a set meal, which included 4 dishes. After the meal, I bought 2 bottles of water and walked with Lu Hao in school. Brother Yuan, is there any work I can do near the school? Lu Hao asked. Li Yuan asked, what's wrong? I have dropped out of school for 4 years, and I have long wanted to do something. My parents have always said that I am young and want me to get married first. But when I saw that Brother Yuan was so powerful and didn't have a girlfriend, I knew I wanted to find a girlfriend. It's basically impossible. Didn't I ask for a girl's WeChat account for you? If we have a chance to chat more, she will come out. I'm not very good at chatting. I see there is a construction site near your school. Do you want me to go and ask if I can move bricks there? You drove a Porsche to move bricks. Li Yuan felt that the style of painting was not very good. Properly spread negative energy. Once someone sees it, someone will definitely spread the word. Look at how hard people drive Porsches. This pot of chicken soup will become the reason for many people to be attacked by Pua. But Lu Hao really needs to find something to do. He has been idle for 4 years. If this continues, his whole person will definitely be ruined. Lu Hao also realized that it was a bit unreliable and simply stopped talking. After waiting for a while, Li Yuan said, eating, drinking and having fun, what do these 4 people do? I have no problem eating or drinking. Something you are particularly good at, such as being able to tell the quality of food and tasting it. Or you are particularly interested in traveling and know a lot of tourist attractions. Of course, if you can drink a train of beer in one breath, it is also considered a specialty. Lu Hao. That's not called special ability, that's called special lightness. Make sure that the urn containing the ashes does not weigh more than 10 kilograms the next day. That, I have learned how to fish in the past few years. Does fishing count? He felt a little embarrassed when he said it. After all, this kind of fishing guy didn't have a good reputation in his hometown, and he had always been the standard for idle people. Whose vegetable garden has not been harvested by fishermen with cucumbers and tomatoes? Sometimes the cowpeas can be picked up in large pieces and taken away. Li Yuan's eyes lit up when he heard this. Good fishing. As a top-notch sport, the market for this thing is huge. Are you good at fishing? Lu Hao scratched his head and said, it's not bad. Those black pits in our county no longer let me go. Although Li Yuan doesn't like fishing, he loves watching fishing videos. He also knew what the black pit meant. It is no different from stock trading. A pool is just like a card table. All the people participating in fishing take out money, and the boss is responsible for releasing the fish. Finally, the amount of funds withdrawn is decided based on how much fish is caught. A pond is stocked with 10,000 caddies of fish, and according to the boss's rules, it costs 10 yuan per caddy. A black pit costs 100,000 yuan. Some bosses charge commissions and will increase the price to 120,000 yuan. Then, the fish that were not caught and the extra money were earned by the boss. The fishing guy took out 120,000 yuan to win a bonus of 100,000 yuan in a big pool. Those who are strong can make thousands of dollars, those who are good will not lose money, and those who are lucky can also make money. From a financial perspective, this type of play is actually illegal. But no one cares about it, and it's already blooming everywhere. Do you know about the black pits near Zhangzhou? Li Yuan asked. I know, Someone in the county said there are many black pits near Zhangzhou. Li Yuan's hometown is not far from Zhangzhou, only about 100 kilometers. Whenever someone in his hometown is seriously ill, he will come to Zhangzhou to see him, so he can be regarded as half Zhangzhou native, and everyone is familiar with this place. Then get ready and get a set of fishing gear. In 2 days I will take you to play in the black pit. Brother Yuan, there are a lot of black hole masters here, I might have to pay for it. Lu Hao has no confidence. It's okay to play in the county. There are hundreds of black pits in Zhangzhou, and masters of all levels are involved. How can he, an amateur, compete with others? Moreover, the cost of black pits is not cheap. If you are unlucky, you will have to pay it all. Li Yuan interrupted Lu Hao and said, no matter how much the compensation is, it will be mine when the time comes. This is the stuff of top sports. Nowadays, there are not so many fishing internet celebrities, and they are not that popular. It is a good opportunity to expand the territory. Internet celebrities bring not only money, but also fame. To a certain extent, fame represents public opinion and credibility. If an internet celebrity has no appeal, it will not be possible for any internet celebrity to get into hot searches if something goes wrong. Isn't this bad? Okay, very good. Li Yuan patted Lu Hao on the shoulder. Fortunately, he also had 182, otherwise he would have to tiptoe. From today on, you are the contracted anchor of WeU Media under my name. Li Yuan has never been able to find a good opportunity to take the first step. Although Lu Hao is just a fisherman, it is enough for him to start preparations. If you miss these 2 years, you will have no choice but to drink soup. Regarding finance, he did not dare to guarantee the accuracy of his so-called enlightenment, so in order not to miss the big market trend in 2.5 years, he not only had to slowly accumulate initial capital in the stock market, but also started preparations outside the market. If I could earn 3 to 5 billion before the second half of 2019, and take advantage of the big market to triple, I would be satisfied for the rest of my life. WeU Media? I seem to have heard of it. Oh, then we'll call you WeU Media. Anyway, it doesn't matter what we call it. How about you start preparations now? Let's go fishing in the dark pit tomorrow. Brother Yuan, aren't you going to study tomorrow? Study? Studying is nothing. Learning is not as fun as fishing. Li Yuan has no interest in studying. He wanted to get a degree certificate before, but now he doesn't even have the qualifications to do so. Even if he was given another chance, he still dared to confront Zhang Yuling. In this life, except for his parents and people he can't afford to offend, he will harm anyone who messes with him. Parenthesis, strive for no one you can't afford to offend. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 28. In the afternoon, Lu Hao went to buy fishing gear according to Li Yuan's request. And Li Yuan was reading discs and recording videos in the hotel room. After the market closed, Xinjiang Electric, which he entered today, was successfully closed, and his total capital reached 94,000, not far from the 100,000 mark. I didn't feel like I had enlightenment today, and yesterday it seemed like it was just a flash in the pan. He vaguely felt that he needed to stimulate the butterfly effect again, let the two forces collide again, and give his brain some inspiration. But it's not possible now. The funds are too small, so don't let yourself get involved. His first priority is to make money for himself. After all, there haven't been many stocks to buy in the past 2 years. For example, he has no idea what to buy after Xinjiang Electric takes another hit tomorrow. He knows some small market trends of individual stocks, but they last for a long time, going back and forth, with very few daily limit, and he can't remember which day the price will rise. With such a small amount of funds, there is no need for any layout at all. It is better to wait for some more intense market conditions. Seeing that Lu Hao hadn't come back yet, he turned on his fighting voice. After posting yesterday's trading video today, there are finally comments. Damn it, no one is so lucky. Did you escape from the top a few minutes before the market hit? Isn't this a simulation? Such an exaggerated profit in just a few days. Don't look, it's another man cutting leaks. There are a lot of online stock gods, but in reality they are all leaks. If there is a financial anchor, it counts. If there is a good thing, I will lose. Someone named 13 Tebeo Laowu replied to the comment saying it was a simulation disk. Everyone has posted the delivery order, or is it a simulated market? What simulation market and delivery order did you use? Li Yuan feels that this 13 Tebeo Laowu already has the potential to become his loyal fan. It's not that he is praising himself, but that he can answer those questioning comments objectively, which shows that this guy is definitely full. When I'm busy, I won't pay too much attention to an account that has no fans, and I will reply to some messages specifically. The comment areas of those big internet celebrities are lively, and their replies can also attract praise and praise from others. On my side, there is no benefit at all, and I might even be scolded by some radical people who were deceived by financial anchors. In fact, Li Yuan also agreed with the last comment. Every financial anchor counts, and none of them is good. They are all preparing for the future. The simplest way to monetize is to deliberately push the official account of a certain big shot, and claim that the other person is more authoritative and attract a lot of attention. That account will not directly commit fraud, but will push a few more accounts out for people to follow. After passing through several layers of Matryoshka dolls, we began to screen the crowd. For example, there are 3,000 people in total, divided into 10 groups, with 300 people in each group. On the first day, 10 stocks were selected for promotion. If the stocks fell, it would be meaningless to represent that group. In a group whose stocks have risen, group members will have greater trust in the stock recommender. Generally, by doing this, they will control costs, so there will still be at least 8 groups the next day. 8 more stocks are selected for promotion, and 2 more are eliminated this time. The remaining 6 groups add 1 more point to their trust in the stock recommenders. If this continues, when there are only 2 groups left, they have successfully recommended stocks 5 or 6 times in a row. Even if there are some stocks that the group members have not bought, it will be difficult to resist the temptation in their hearts. After all, as long as you follow along and buy, you will earn at least 5, 6, or even 10 points every day. That's all free money. At this time, it is their time to trick these people into buying some junk stocks, and basically all the money invested has to be buried in them. There is also the need to create a fund profile for a long time, and then negotiate cooperation with some funds to bring popularity to those funds and attract traffic to them. Just opening a shop window and advertising in the video for manufacturers who want to grab second-hand mobile phones is already a bottom line. In her previous life, Tong Sui could get 100,000 yuan by pushing a WeChat ID after she had millions of fans. You can imagine how huge profits there will be. After taking a look, I saw that I have gained 7 or 8 followers today, which is not bad. I just took a casual look and found that there was news from a stranger. It means someone sent him a private message. Cultivating a relationship with one's fans is the most basic quality of an internet celebrity, especially when starting out. When I opened it, I saw that it was from the guy named 13 Tebeo Laowu. Liar, get out. Li Yuan. Because the other party could only send one message, Li Yuan was not sure what the other party meant. You liar, finally answered. You dare to do it, but don't take it seriously, right? You tricked me into entering Zhai construction, and I fell twice in a row. If you don't give me an explanation, I'll call the police immediately. Hurry up and give me an explanation. Mute. Li Yuan looked at a series of messages and realized that the other party had been sanctioned by the system. Seeing how angry he was, I'm afraid that after posting the first one, he found that he couldn't post the second one. I don't know how much he regrets it. It should be a message that says everything you want to say without sending it out. How uncomfortable it is to hold it in. Li Yuan waited for the other party to finish venting before replying, "Please take a look at my signature. I do not recommend stocks or sell courses. The video is only for daily communication between investors. You can follow up on any video you watch. In my opinion, no matter how good Sci-fi construction stock is, you can't make money in the stock market." I thought this was a high-quality fan, but I didn't expect it. He just saw this guy replying to his question, and he was moved for a second. A waste of feelings. 13 Tebeo, Lao Wu, I don't care, you caused this, you have to pay for it. How much did you lose? 13 Tebeo, Lao Wu, I haven't lost money yet. I bought in at the limit on Monday and got a lot of money. On Tuesday, I got the limit again. I didn't sell at the limit on Wednesday. I sold at the limit. I've been buried in it today, but there are only 5 points of floating profit. Looking at the current situation, it will definitely fall to the limit tomorrow, and the loss will be at least hundreds of thousands. Li Yuan quickly figured it out in his mind. The other party still has a floating profit of 5 points, and it will fall to the limit tomorrow. Compared with the previous cost, the loss will be 2 or 3 points at most. 2 or 3 points and a loss of hundreds of thousands. How much capital did he enter? Damn it, I finally found you as the culprit. Damn it. It was you who ruined the market. Originally, Sci-fi Construction still had at least 2 shares. I ran away early when I saw something was wrong with the trend. What the hell are you doing? Are you a fool? Just looking at a random person, you dare to invest tens of millions of funds. If you only invest a few million less, the market will not go bad so quickly. Well, Li Yuan is talking nonsense, let's throw the blame away first. Anyway, things have already happened. No one can use the ability to look back in time. No one knows what will happen next. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 29. The other party was obviously shocked by Li Yuan's words. After all, these words are indeed a bit pretentious, as if Li Yuan has completely seen through the game. Who in the world can have such strong self-confidence? 13 Tebeo, Lao Wu, what are you bragging about? A multi-billion-dollar plate will go wrong because of my 8 million yuan. When Li Yuan saw the number of more than 8 million, his heart twitched. He didn't know when he would be able to save 8 million. Is a multi-billion-dollar market a big deal? The daily transaction volume is only 1 or 2 million. Do you know what 8 million means? With this kind of capital market, even 1 million retail investors can easily cause an earthquake. 13 Tebeo, Lao Wu, then why didn't you remind me yesterday? Who am I to remind you? Why did you cause me to lose so much money? I haven't settled the account with you yet. From now on, don't expect me to post videos in advance. From now on, every time I finish my operation in a certain stock, the video will be released. The more Li Yuan talked, the more he felt that the name of the 13 Tebeo sounded familiar. Anything that seems familiar to him is not a good thing. 13 Tebeo, Lao Wu, I think you are a liar. Just like other financial anchors, you get a few delivery orders from nowhere and treat them as your operations. If you have the ability, you can lead us to trade stocks, even if we make a profit click, and we will admit that you are awesome. It was this sentence that suddenly inspired Li Yuan's dusty memory. He remembered why the name was so familiar to him. Because the year he graduated from college, something happened in Jiangzhou's financial circle that everyone envied. A fund manager broke into an internal group of retired old men. Finally, with the support of the big market, he successfully gained the trust of a group of retired old men. Then, the group of retired old men jointly invested 200 million in a private equity fund and asked the fund manager to take charge of it, with an annual salary of 10 million. But in the end, the market went bad, and the fund manager took the money and went abroad. What happened next, Li Yuan didn't know. But that doesn't stop that fund manager from becoming the idol of all interns. After the news broke, the pseudonyms of the retired old men also appeared in major media. 13 Taibao is their pseudonym. Have you met these retired old men? I don't recommend stocks or sell courses. You'd better find someone else. After all, he is a retired old man, and Li Yuan is too embarrassed to quarrel with others anymore. Although he could deceive these old men, it might save him several years of hard work, but it was an illegal operation, and he was not qualified to recommend stocks. The fund manager was qualified after all. If after what he did, these old men changed hands and sold him, he might have to go to prison for 15 days. The risk is too great. 13 Taibao, Lao Wu, you are afraid of being exposed because you are incompetent, right? Li Yuan. Your calculations are so accurate. At this moment, Lu Hao knocked on the door. After Li Yuan went over to open it, he saw that Lu Hao had already purchased fishing gear. Lu Hao chuckled and said, "Brother Yuan, I'll try it myself. I'll treat you to dinner when I make money." Li Yuan immediately said with a straight face, "What nonsense are you talking about? From now on, all your fishing fees will be mine. As long as you follow my arrangements, you will still get your salary. This, brother Yuan, let's forget it. You can't make much money fishing. If you are lucky, you can earn a few hundred yuan. You can lose it casually in terms of bait and gas money. If you do this, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for myself. Can't you feel sorry? That's easy to say. I'll give you another job. But this job has certain risks. If something happens, you'll have to bite me to death. It has nothing to do with me. What's up? I don't dare to say how much money I can make. I'll make you 1 million in 3 months. Lu Hao was a little hesitant at first. After all, it could be seen from Li Yuan's tone that there was a lot of risk. But after saying 1 million in 3 months, all his worries disappeared. No problem. As long as he doesn't die, he's not afraid of anything else. Li Yuan smiled and patted him on the shoulder and said, "Don't worry, even if something happens, the most serious situation is to go in and stay for half a month. At present, most of these cases in China are exempt from punishment." The reason why Li Yuan is worried is because he feels that those retired old men are not simple. After all, an old man who can spend hundreds of millions cannot be an ordinary person. If you really want to mess with him, he has no room to fight back. Keep everything in mind. Of course Lu Hao chose to believe what Li Yuan said and asked, "Then what should I do?" It's very simple. If someone transfers money to you in a few days, you can transfer it to me. When you transfer, please note that it is lent to me. I will lend it for a period of time, and then I will return all the money to you, regardless of others. No matter how much money I give you, it's all yours, I don't want any of it. Is it that simple? Lu Hao never thought that this kind of money-making model could be possible. Don't you have much money? After all, he only needs to change hands to get all the money, which is probably no more than 10,000 yuan. And this money must be slightly illegal. Then you really should take the blame. Brother Yuan is going to do big things in the future, so there must be no stain on him. It's that simple. Just lend me your WeChat account later. Good. Soon, He prepared his bank card account number and also handed his WeChat account to Li Yuan. Then he ignored it and fiddled with his fishing gear. While Li Yuan was chatting with Lu Hao, Lao Wu, the 13 Taibao, sent many sarcastic messages. I know you're not good at all. Where did you place the delivery order? Is it someone close to you? Boy, introduce him to me and I'll pay you a favor. Don't pretend to be deaf and dumb. Do you believe I will call the police? There's no one in Zhangzhou that I can't find. If you don't come out, I'll really look for you. After seeing this information, Li Yuan felt that there was a way out. So he replied, you are so awesome. You can tell at a glance that there is someone behind me. But you are wrong. My account is my own, and my delivery order is also my own. 13 Taibao, Lao Wu, it's not surprising. A master of that level cannot have an account of tens of thousands of dollars. Yes, he has been trading in the stock market for many years. He made 300 million during the bull market in 2015, and he has not done much since then. I have a good relationship with him, but he doesn't want to see a poor friend like me, and thinks I embarrass him. So he just gave me some advice and bought a few tickets. 13 Taibao, Lao Wu, indeed, if I had a friend as poor as you, I would feel embarrassed. It is not convenient for him to give you money directly, but it is convenient for me to give it to him. Introduce him to me, as long as it is true, I will give you an introduction fee of 500,000. Li Yuan immediately replied, that's impossible. My friend has quit the stock market a long time ago. Now he just wants to live a steady life. Besides, he gave me a house and a car. How can I have the nerve to continue to cause him trouble? 13 Taibao, Lao Wu, you kid, you have a big appetite. Let's put it this way, as long as the other party really has that strength, I will give you a Ferrari of some kind. It cost more than 5 million at the beginning. Oh. Li Yuan has no interest in luxury cars. The mansion is okay. 13 Taibao, Lao Wu, what the hell are you? If you sell that car now, it will fetch at least 4 million. Judging from your appearance, you still don't like it? You're welcome. With my status, there's no way I can be disapproved of. It's just that I really can't introduce him. I'm just a rich friend. I don't want to make him angry. 13 Taibao, Lao Wu, you kid, are quite ruthless. How about this, as long as you introduce me to him, I will lend you the car to drive, and then I will transfer the ownership to you after I am sure of my strength. How about this? Well, I'm going to get married soon, and my girlfriend doesn't like my house. It's not a good idea. 13 Taibao, Lao Wu, think about it, kid. You can't even see a car worth 4 or 5 million yuan, but you still want a mansion worth tens of millions? What a dream. Oh, forget it then. Li Yuan deleted Lu Hao's circle of friends while replying. I deleted all the sentiments about the second grade and only kept some about fishing and the like. After waiting for about 10 minutes, Lao Wu, the 13 Taibao, was obviously anxious and sent another message, you really dare to say this? Well, the previous conditions still count, as long as I can confirm that your friend is powerful, and I am willing to guide us in stock trading. After earning 30 million, I will have a small townhouse in Zhangzhou worth more than 8 million, which I will give to you when the time comes. Li Yuan took a look and became more and more certain that this 13 Taibao was the famous retired old man in his previous life. 13 Taibao, Lao Wu, I still have a principal of 40 million. It is not difficult to make 30 million, right? If you can't even do this, you are not a master. I am sure I can make a few millions of pocket money. Li Yuan sneered, this guy was more arrogant than himself. But the conditions are really good. Moreover, the intermediary fees earned are not illegal at all, and the worst case scenario is that they will be refunded. Then I will tell my friend, and if he agrees, I will send his WeChat message to you. Li Yuan felt that this retired old man was very easy to communicate with, and he was willing to invest money. Looking at it this way will be very beneficial to your next plan. They posted it upside down, and I'm actually not satisfied with it. Author, Lao He. Chapter 30. Li Yuan is very famous at Zhangzhou University. Not a good reputation though. However, under the collective imagination of the three people in the dormitory, Li Yuaneo has been given a perfect rich second-generation identity. Then, they began to spread the word, which was bound to reverse Li Yuan's reputation. This kind of gossip spreads at an unimaginable speed, reaching 7 times the speed of light. At first, many students from the School of Finance knew about this. As a person with the potential to write novels, the identity Gu Dongsheng assigned to Li Yuan was definitely very popular. The rich second generation, restricted by family restrictions and can only live a low-key life, originally wanted to find a Cinderella of his own, but ended up being Pua. In the end, he failed to control his temper in anger, and now he is expelled from school. After being expelled, the shackles of the family on him disappeared and he began to enjoy the life that a rich second generation should have. Fragrant car, beautiful woman. He even made up a series of possible identities such as the Li family in the Magic City, the Li family in the capital, the Li family in Shanghai, etc. Tong Suifei saw these rumors and became completely indifferent. Because Li Yuan's attitude left her without any hope, her only hope now was that this was a rumor. Li Yuan is still the same guy from before. He was born in the countryside and is her licking dog. He was chatting with Feng Dongchen at this time. Because I borrowed more than 10,000 yuan for food, I found this person. Feng Dongchen is relatively high profile in the School of Finance. He drives a car worth 4 to 5 million yuan and usually spends money quite readily. But his appearance is a bit unflattering, and Tong Suifei doesn't appreciate his personality either. But she really couldn't find anyone else. She was usually too harsh on those who teased the dog lickers. Last time, the rumors between Anna Shen and Li Yuan caused many people to find an outlet. She blocked more than a dozen people in one breath. Feng Dongchen can also be regarded as one of her suitors, but Feng Dongchen is not particularly licky, and he is lukewarm towards him. After taking the initiative to approach Feng Dongchen, she found that Feng Dongchen was no different from other licking dogs. I borrowed more than 10,000 yuan and tried every means to ask her out. Since she couldn't afford the money in the short term, she had promised to have dinner with Feng Dongchen on Sunday afternoon. She had already thought of an excuse to see if she could get Feng Dongchen to give her the money. After all, she is used to using borrowing money as an excuse, and then those licking dogs will pretend to be generous and directly say no. She made a slight gesture of wanting to pay back the money, and those licking dogs felt that she was a kind-hearted person. In her eyes, the person who scolded her that day was ugly, poor, and clueless. Dongchen, have you seen the news about Li Yuan? Feng Dongchen could be considered a rich second generation, so he definitely knew more than himself. Soon, Feng Dongchen replied, "Look, it's a rumor. I know Li Yuan's home address. There are many lists on the student union, and his home is in a rural area. And whether it's Zhangzhou or China, which one I don't know about the rich second generation. There is no such person as Li Yuan. Real." Tong Suifei also made sure. If it was just a rumor, she would be in a great mood. Really, isn't it just a broken Porsche 718? There are several in my garage that no one drives. Entry-level sports cars are not worth a lot of money, and they are used by poor people to show off. The really rich people don't like this thing at all. I have to start off as a pretty girl to be considered a little rich. My family has tens of millions of assets, and my dad tells me not to show off on weekdays. I can only drive 5 series when I come to school. You mean, a car can't determine a person's identity? No, if you are like Anna Shen, driving a car worth more than 3 million yuan, no matter how poor your family situation is, it won't be much worse. If you can drive a car worth more than 5 or 6 million yuan, then you are a real boss. If you don't have money at home, $1 or $200 million, but you can't even get access to the channels to buy that stuff. Tong Sui felt relieved. Now she was almost certain that Li Yuan rented a car on purpose and hired an actor along the way. The purpose is also very simple, that is, his reputation in the school is not very good, and he is trying to put on a show to change everyone's impression of him, and may even make the school handle it carefully and not expel him. Unfortunately, Sun Hongmei's mobile phone number was blocked by Li Yuan. But it doesn't matter, she can't let anyone take advantage of her. She asked Feng Dongchen to drive her to meet Li Yuan by chance on Sunday, and asked Feng Dongchen to slap Li Yuan in the face. Dongchen, I owe you more than 10,000 yuan, and I may have to wait 2 months to pay it back. I will find a part-time job during the summer vacation, and I will definitely pay you back as soon as possible. It's okay, I'm not in a hurry. If you agree to be my girlfriend, I will give you more than just gifts. Our contact time is too short. How about I give you an answer when we get to know each other better? Okay, if you want to work part-time during the summer vacation, I'll drive you. At the same time, Anna Shen got some photos. Those were the ones taken by the 3 guys in Li Yuan's dormitory. When promoting Li Yuan's identity, in order to increase credibility, those photos were naturally leaked. Anna Shen came to Xu Yanlin with the photo and said, "See for yourself, this is what Li Yuan deliberately set up. He rented a car and then borrowed you as a backdrop. Now the whole school is saying that he is a rich second grader. Doesn't all the credit for this belong to you?" Xu Yanlin really has the temperament of a lady, because Shen Tianfu took her by his side when she first entered elementary school. Although she didn't invest as much money as she did with Anna Shen, under the influence of her ears and eyes, she cultivated a quiet and gentle temperament in Xu Yanlin, which was not as good as Anna Shen's. Xu Yanlin looked at those photos and some of the remarks of the second-generation Li Yuanfu that Anna Shen had screened out, feeling a little confused. "Sister, is there a possibility, is this not a rumor? Li Yuan is actually quite good." Anna Shen screamed angrily, and her voice became stern without realizing it. "Do you think the rich second generation in the world are just cabbage? Just a rich second generation just comes. A really rich second generation would do such a shameful thing. What? Even if he is the second generation of the nouveau riche, it is impossible for him to have such virtue. He is a liar, a complete liar. I checked his personal data sheet, and the identity information is that he is in a rural area in a nearby county. In that place, the richest man is I know everyone, but there is no rich man named Li. Sister, maybe I don't like to show off. If he doesn't like to be flamboyant, why don't he drive a 718? Why doesn't he ride a bicycle? Oh. Xu Yanlin is not good at arguing with others. Anyway, whatever my cousin says is whatever it is. So far, it has not affected Li Yuan's image in his heart. At this time, a notification sound came from her WeChat. As soon as she unlocked her phone, Anna Shen came over. The message was sent by Li Yuan. Of course he wanted to see Dabai. Anna Shen said, "Don't go out today, just say that we will meet on Sunday when you are free to see if he still has money to rent his old Porsche for a few days. Then I will expose his conspiracy in person. The character card is out, please like it if you have time."